So as I said, these guys are running a fudge factory, I guess, for betting manipulation as well as frame bets and perception manufacturings for slander, covert slander, as well as to justify theft and crime and economic espionage, IP theft, and more. They're manufacturing telepathy, they're manufacturing eye outputs, mind outputs, they're manufacturing neurophysiological cues and readings that come off these implantable devices in my body. Keep in mind, these people have no clue how to authenticate if the readings on their computers coming from these devices that these implantable devices in my nervous system, they have no way to authenticate if these readings they're reading or monitoring are even authentic. They don't even know how to do it. So these guys just sit around training. They use like I said before, they use these experts who aren't even experts. Don't even know, never even took a biology class, let alone a medicine class, let alone a computer engineering or neuroengineering class. And they claim they're experts, and they basically they train these experts to train other people who aren't really experts. It's a confidence man hustle and a psychological tactic. And they train these people to truth systems, as I said, and they train them to what to look for and make up meanings for certain things. And then once they train them to these systems, they then use other devices and other tactics to manipulate these truth systems people were taught to rely upon, whether using other implantable devices, using hacking, and just giving them manufactured readings, et cetera, et cetera. But these people use this fudge factory to manufacture data and create false portrayals and generate fake neurophysiological profiles as well as character profiles of people. They'll take Google data, metadata, they'll manufacture data, use perception manufacturing analysis to analyze this data, but analyze it in a fashion, in a way to purposefully use it to push an idea or sell an agenda, and use poor analysis and use fraudulent analysis in order to push an idea or agenda, as opposed to using objective analysis. So they'll use that sort of data. They'll use these neurophysiological cues. They'll use data, use poor analysis. Then they'll manufacture mind outputs and other data to fulfill this data that they're peddling and make it look real. They always like to threaten, say, we have a way of making slander look real. They also like to say, we control the information, so we control perceptions. So they got all sorts of hustles and they make all sorts of threats. So I guess that's a piece of how they're making their slander look real and controlling perceptions is through their fudge factory and taking advantage of people with the novelty of the tech who get, I guess, bogged down in the interesting nature of it. Or they tell you, oh, you work for Jeff Bezos or some bullshit. And then everyone's distracted by, oh, we work for Jeff Bezos. And, oh, we've got novel tech. And they don't question Jeff Bezos experts. So maybe that's part of their official hustle. Or maybe it is Jeff Bezos. I have no clue. But regardless, that is a distraction as well. And so they train you to these true systems that they then manipulate and take advantage of people. And they use such to rob people, frame people, manipulate bets, et cetera, et cetera. So they'll manufacture fake telepathy, mind outputs about a specific scenario, fake data from a computer. They'll manufacture fake surveillance, manufacture fake mind outputs to fulfill this claim they make, and that's how they operate. They'll manufacture scenarios. Say they ask certain person a question, they'll be like, here are his neurophysiological cues when we ask this question that they manufacture. Here's what was spawned, and it's a mind output which was manufactured. What else? This is his telepathy response, which is probably manufactured. So that's what they do all day. And either the receivers are doing the manufacturing, or there's someone feeding them the data and manufacturing it and lying to them and saying this is the data, and they're just feeding them manufactured data, or both. But yeah, it's a fudge factory. These orchestrate frames, manipulate bets, justify theft of ideas and property. They keep trying to push various agendas and ideas into people's heads with this manufactured data, with repetition, with slander, with bribery, bribing people to lie, blackmailing people to lie. So that's another part of their fudge factory and perception manufacturing machine. They also love to impersonate people and use imaging hustles. Like, I'm really Alexander Surya Jayani. Eyebrow ring, long black hair and a man bun, mustache, lower hair, lip hair. I should look like Alexander Jayani wherever you are seeing this or hearing this. if you don't see Alexander Suryagiani and see someone else and I look like someone entirely different, that's evidence of their imaging hustles where they make me look like someone else illegally without my permission. So then people may think they're talking to Sigourney Weaver or something. I'm really Alex Gianni. So they'll pull hustles like that. So they like to use impersonation hustles and use imaging hustles to make people look like people. And then they'll provide false testimony, or they'll make me look like Barack Obama, and I'll be like, yeah, the technology's awesome, or I signed off on, or I don't know what they'll say. I don't know how they'll represent Barack Obama. He'd be like, yes, it's very efficient and reliable technology, it's trustworthy, it's infallible, blah blah blah. And it won't even be Barack Obama, but people see the image, so they think it's real. So they pull hustles like that with impersonation to push and sell an idea, sell an agenda. Their manufactured data in Fudge factory. They use imaging hustles to push false testimony. They use blackmail to push stuff. So they got all sorts of hustles. I wouldn't trust these guys over their Fudge factory. Like I said, rule of thumb, these are the questions you should always run by. What are your conflicts of interest? What bets are you tied to? What bets are you trying to manipulate? Are you involved in a global frame bet? How much money did you steal from Alexander Suryagiani? How much money in crimes have you committed on Alexander Suryagiani? From a 5-year and 5-month hostage scenario, highly illegal, unethical, inhumane human experimentation, illegal implantation experiments, illegal telepathy experiments, illegal neurophysiological cue experiments, illegal New Age court system experiments, illegal New Age investigation company experiments. How many crimes have you committed on Gianni, and how much money do you owe Gianni in crimes alone and slander with malice alone? How much money in IP have you stolen? How much betting mule money have you stolen? And how many gifts have you stolen? How much property and money have you stolen from him as this Illuminati fellow? Because they all know I've never seen the game and don't know, so I don't even know what these people have been stealing, which is another key piece of this. So ask them how much money, property, etc. have they stolen? How much money in crimes have they committed? How much money in slander with malice have they committed while trying to pull off their heist and get away with theft of money and property? So ask them that. Ask them all the crimes you're involved in. Who else have you committed crimes on? How desperate are you? Are you looking at a multi-trillion-dollar lawsuit, life in prison, and the death penalty? Are you involved in terrorism? Have you been participating in this intimidation and coercion of civilian populations through blackmail, through bribery, through manufactured evidence, through slander, through threats of frame, threats of harm, threats of implantation? Performing threat bets where you threaten people with bets? Have you been part of trying to make an example out of people to intimidate and coerce the civilian population? So you should ask all these people, whoever these little serial killers are stalking me, you should always ask them all these questions and more. Look at my big fucking key points document. Look at my methods of analysis document. Look at my key questions for terrorists. You'll find all sorts of key information and key questions to always drill these little weirdos who show up places and just start peddling slander and creating panics and whatever the fuck they're doing that I hear about via telepathy. I don't know if it's real or not. I just hear about it via telepathy. So if it is real, that's the type of shit you should be asking them. And if it's not, no worries. But if there is something of that nature going on that no one tells me about, I would definitely ask these people if there's weird people showing up places and starting panics and peddling slander and this and that. Ask them, what's your methods of authenticating this? Can I see your original file and do video forensics analysis? Can we do digital forensics analysis? If they do it came from his parents' modem hustle, ask them, what are your means of investigating a modem? Do you even know how to investigate a modem? And then maybe test to see if they actually even know how. And then always ask them what device it came from. So they love that hustle too. They just like to do something illegal and then claim it came from someone's modem, and they don't even know how to investigate a fucking modem, let alone the device it came from. So that's another hustle these terrorists love. And there's people who actually fall for this. They just put in their documentation it came from his parents' modem or his modem or whatever bullshit they make up. And they put that in their documentation, and no one even asks these people, well, what investigative modality did you use? Or let me see you doing an investigation of a modem and a device and see what computer as well as what IP it came from. Where they don't even ask them that. Supposedly some people did, and they failed every test. Some of these people, so always look into that too. So you should be very thorough with their notes. I wouldn't even waste my time with their bullshit, because there's people who stalk me 24/7. I hear them. They localize right above my window over here. A lot of these people, and via telepathy. And they literally just sit around all day tampering with evidence, tampering with telepathy that comes out of my mind, tampering with eye outputs, They're always tampering with eye outputs and telepathy in real time, even tampering with my computer in real time. And God knows what else they're tampering with. Neurophysiological cues. They're manufacturing mind outputs all day. So don't fall for their bullshit. But a big piece of this is they are running an illegal betting manipulation syndicate, and they're robbing people around the world and then blaming it on others and endangering others' lives. So that's another key piece of this. Praise Jesus. As well as illegal underground experiment rings and selling themselves into experiments, but then using other people's coordinates for the experiments and then stealing money for the experiments they claim to be a victim of, or claim they sold themselves into, but make others experience it. So that's another piece of it. And another reason they're using these experiments on me is it's a betting manipulation syndicate. So they're putting all these devices in my brain and body and nervous system to then use and manipulate bets with them. So don't fall for their bullshit. That's part of their betting manipulation hustle. Praise Jesus.